with Eric, Iraq veteran, earlier today, you know, like around 3 o'clock. I was yakking with him for about an hour, showing him stuff.
All right, that should do it.
I see you're live again. Whoop. I will hide the evil things.
Here. All right, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna have to turn the cameras off. Let's see, performance settings. That's performance there. All right.
I like the audio introduction on that.
Yeah. So we're back again, I think. I don't know.
Yay.
I'm trying here. All right, so it says we're here. So all right. I've switched some settings. Hopefully it lasts. I don't know. I'm not sure. So we'll see how far that we get with this.
So I'm gonna have to leave at 10 o'clock. I'm
Yeah.
gonna be jumping on another stream.
Yeah. Well, where do we stop? Do you know? Do you remember?
Oh yeah, I was yakking. I was jawing.
You were talking about the keeping the filament safe from humidity.
Yes.
Oh, okay. So yeah, I've got. So this is where the spool's gonna sit. I thought I had a spool sitting around here at my feet. So it's gonna sit on here and roll. These are ball bearings.
Oh, I gotta turn
And
the camera back on. Hold on.
oh,
Yeah.
so this is kind of a cradle for a spool. I thought I had a spool sitting around here. Oh, there it is. So the spool is going to sit in like a dry food container, and it'll be able to rotate.
Okay.
I'll throw some desiccant in there and a hygrometer / temperature gauge.
Right.
And this is going to be a bulkhead fitting, so I just threw it together to see how it works. So I 3D printed this, so I'm just going to cut a hole, you know, probably with the step drill in the container. And then this, I'll have it long enough, and I got just generic tubing, so you don't have to buy, you know, PTFE for a 3D printer or whatever it is. You can just get generic tubing as El Cheapo as possible.
Are you going to use some Tupperware?
Yeah, like not Tupperware because that's too expensive, but yeah, I'll do a video and I'll post all of the things that I've used in the video and links. So this is stupid cheap. So I got bearings, I got, you know, a box of bearings, I got a bunch more bearings, a bunch of these PTFE fittings, you know, the pneumatic fittings. Because I'm going to be setting up 3 of these, and I've got 3 printers, and they're all running off Octoprint. And I'm gonna set them up also with cameras. One I have with a camera right now, actually 2. I don't have it all set up.
All right.
So they're gonna have Octoprint, push bullet, and so push bullet, when it finishes, will take a picture of the print and send it to my phone, which is handy. You gotta have a
camera connected to it, right?
Yeah, but push bullet still works. It'll tell me, hey, the print was done. So I was printing, I don't know if I have one handy, spaghetti measuring devices that allow you to rapidly fire anything with a pistol grip. And I was selling them. So I was printing like 3 on a build plate. And so it would notify me when they were done. So I would get like 3 prints a day. And on 3 printers. So 3 times 3 times 3, so 27 a day. Okay, basically. Cool. And I was selling them at, you know, gun shows. I was originally selling them for like $20 a piece. I lowered it to 10. It really didn't seem to make a difference whether I had them at 10 or 20. But the key was I had a Chromebook on my table at the gun show showing how it was used because nobody knew what they were. Oh. So that was good. And if somebody was like hedging, like they're buying a polymer 80 kit from me, I'd be like, hey, I'll throw this in. They're like, oh, I bought 2 of these. I'm like, can you give me a break? I'm like, well, not really, but I can throw one of these in. And realistically, you know, what is your cost? And it's kind of like if I was Pablo Picasso and I, sketched a stick figure on here, it'd be worth a crazy amount of money, but I'm not Pablo Picasso. But going into that, it's like, Mike, if I asked you to do something on a server for me that took you 5 minutes to do, but realistically, it took you 20 years to learn all the shit. So do you charge me for 5 minutes of your time, or do you charge me $100? That's
I charge you whatever I need to charge you in order to eat.
right. And so the answer is somewhere in that range.
Yeah.
Hey, I need to feed myself, or you know what? It took me 20 years to learn this shit. And that's what I'm getting to, is how much
I'm more reasonable, okay? I just charge you whatever it costs for me so I can eat and pay the bills. That's it. I don't gouge people. But again, as you said, the range is, gouge someone or, don't.
I'm not. Well, what I'm getting at is, so my material cost is $1, $2. My electric cost is probably negligible to print one of those, pasta measuring devices that allow you to fire your gun rapidly. So if I charge $10 for it and I throw one or two in to make a sale of $900, I don't care.
Right.
It doesn't mean anything to me. And again, using whatever metric you want to say to what's it cost for me to produce that. Do I factor in the cost of my printer, the cost of the heat and AC and electricity and security and the guns and ammo I have to defend the property? Or do I just say, it's a few cents worth of plastic and a few cents worth of electric?
Yeah, I'm honest. Okay. So unfortunately, some of our viewers out there are a little less honest. So they're saying if you're only going to charge people to eat, you're going to eat ramen. And I'm like, well, I got to be honest about what I charge people. Honestly.
Well, I don't think of it as dishonest. I mean, I give a lot of shit away. Like people I see at the show that I've seen before, I'm like, oh, hey, here you go. Here, take one of these. I'll give it to them for free.
Right. But apparently some of our viewers are less honest. So
I see. You say it, I don't see it as an honest versus dishonest. I see it as, what is your skills worth? And so the opposite of that, and here's where you may be selling yourself short, is what is the cost of or the opportunity loss. So let's say, Mike, you could easily do IT consulting for $100, but you're mowing lawns for $10 an hour. Your opportunity lost is $90 because your time is valuable.
Right.
And that's what I'm getting at. I don't think it's an honest versus dishonest thing. I think it's, hey, your time is worth something.
Tony is saying the market decides the value of time. You guys are ignoring market forces.
And that's another thing.
The problem is market forces would affect normal items, Tony. But we're talking about items that somebody 3D printed, and unfortunately, it doesn't. They do and they don't fit into the market.
But Tony has a point. You know what? At a gun show, whatever I have is worth whatever will hand me money for.
Right. So it's just like, honestly, sometimes if I was gonna sell anything like that at a gun show, I would probably say, have a sign saying, if you have an offer, make me an offer, and if I like it, I'll take it. If I don't, I'll tell you no.
Sure.
that way,
So
that way some things are negotiable.
All right, I learned how to haggle, and I've never wanted to haggle. I've never wanted to.
I don't like haggling, but sometimes it's necessary.
And so there's this model airplane show every spring. Is it like February or so? Over by where my dad's place was in Pennsylvania. And people would have wonderful planes. He's like, hey, I'm selling this for $300. I'm like, I understand. And it's absolutely worth $300. But I don't need a $300 model airplane that I'm going to have to spend another $150 to get flying. I'll tell you what, I'll give you 100 for it. And he's like all insulted. He's like, but it took me time to build. I'm like, yes, it did. It took you time to build it. You flew it. And now you're looking to recover some of your cost. But to make it, interesting for me to take home, it's got to be $100. And that's how I would do business. Is it worth $300? Absolutely. But, I would, so just like you do at a gun show, you cruise around the model airplane show. You're like, ooh, I like that. It's too much. I like that. It's too much. I like that. That's the right. Oop, I'm grabbing that right now because I don't want anybody else to grab that before me. And then you cruise around. And you're like, look, it's you've been here 4 hours. Nobody's bought it from you. I'll give you $100 for that.
Do you ever get it?
Oh yeah, hell yeah. Yeah,
right.
And
Daniel says at Night Strike, people are gonna lowball you with that method. Have a set price.
Well, all right.
This is like he has a machine shop, so he machines parts, and he's got the all the heavy equipment for it. And he says in his shop he has a bare minimum for a PO to be worth turning a machine on.
I agree.
If it's less than that, he'll refuse it. That's the point. I get that.
Well, there's an economy of scale, so I'm going to have to bounce in just a few minutes, but
we're going to close up in a second, anyways, because of issues and everything.
One of the things is like my daughter would drive Uber Eats or whatever it was, and she'd do one. Well, to drive into town and hang out and wait for a gig, and if you do one, you're making zero money. You're probably losing money. But if you drive into town and you do 5 gigs and then drive back out of town, all of a sudden, like the first gig paid for your cost of your gas, and forget about insurance and all that bit. But let's just say, hey, it only costs me gas to do Uber Eats. If I do 1, I break even or maybe lose money. But if I do 5 Uber Eats, I'm actually going to walk home with some cash.
Right.
So that's the economy of scale. The other factor is, what we talked about is like, hey, what's it worth for somebody to buy it? And it's worth whatever somebody will pay for.
Right. All right. Well, there's that, and we got into a rabbit hole on selling 3D printed stuff instead of talking about 3D printing. But
Yep.
But again, excuse me, I'm gonna start messing with the 3D printers and start doing some testing and whatnot. Ralph, I emailed Ralph earlier today and asked him a couple questions after we had talked, because Ralph also said the other night when we were talking with him to send him an email if I had any questions and whatnot. So
cool.
I bounced a few things off him after we talked, and I'm still gonna do some test prints, but I am gonna try some of the stuff that I've downloaded. I got some really interesting stuff that I'll try.
Here's the other thing: scale it down in Cura the slicer to 50% just to see how it'll work. Because I did that. I mean, I got some tests over here because I was having that curling issue, but on another part, from one of the objects I showed you off screen or off live. Yeah,
Coop CNT Design Arms says cost depends on time and labor invested. It does. Yes, that's also part of it. That is,
but totally also the skill that it's taking you to learn how to do this crap over time.
Yeah. Sport Brand says valuation as a concept is an abstraction. Really, the right value being determined by both parties in the transaction. MSRP would like the generally accept the value of said item. Yeah. No, we get that. Anyways, we're gonna close up. Thanks, Rich, for coming on and talking about 3D printing and helping me out with this. Travis, thanks for hanging out and being here.
No problem, man. Yeah, good
stuff, I know you didn't say a lot because you haven't gotten into 3D printing yet, but maybe you've got all that space.
I know quite a bit about it. I just haven't actually purchased one, and it's just interesting.
I'm going to drop right now. Sorry, guys.
You guys do later. Yeah, no, dude, it's just been interesting hearing about how you guys use it, what you do with it, and the applications. And I was into it more when it first came out, really getting serious about it. But the setups were $1,000 buy-in or $700 buy-in 5 or 6 years ago. Now it's, you can practically, pick one up like you said for under $200. So Yeah, I think it's cool, man. I'm pretty excited about it.
Anyone that lives near a micro center, okay, they've got something called a new customer coupon or whatnot. You can save $100 on a Creality Ender 3 3D printer. Okay, go to your local micro center and see if you can get that coupon, because that $199 printer turns into just $99 printer, 3D printer. And it's the same thing I bought. So check that out if you are interested in 3D printing. If you're not, okay, but be aware that I'm going to start doing some 3D printing stuff, and I may show some of the stuff on the channel and whatnot. So be aware it's coming, but it's going to stay gun related. So with that, I'm just letting everyone in on what's going on and what I'm messing with. So with that, we're gonna end it and get the hell out of here. So Travis, do you have any final words of wisdom?
No, man, just everybody, be safe and just be aware of your surroundings. And hopefully we'll see everybody Thursday night for Caliber Corner at 6 p.m. Central Time on my YouTube channel, Travis B11. So thank you for the invite, bud. Appreciate it.
All right. And with that, thank you all for listening. This was Hit or Miss 3D Printer Edition. Adios, Felicia. Te amo, Felicia. Te amo.
Te amo, Felicia. Te amo, mi amor.
Felicia Navidad.
Felicia Navidad. Felicia Navidad.
Live streaming has stopped.
That's perfect right there.
Absolutely, man. So yeah, I'm looking at your printer. Is it the Creality Ender 3? Is that what you got?
Just the normal Ender 3 is what I bought.
Yeah. Official Creality Ender 3 3D printer, fully open source with resume printing.
Yeah.
All metal frame.
Yep.
Pretty badass, dude.
Dude, I'm so happy the print worked. I mean, look at this thing.
Yeah. It came out looking nice.
Look at that.
Let's get all set up.
I don't normally do video on Instagram, but I took some video of it just printing away. See that?
How's the smell? Does it smell like burning plastic at all while it's going or not?
People say it does, but I'll be honest, I didn't smell anything.
Yeah. Okay, cool.
You know, I think some people just have really shitty airflow in their rooms.
Yeah.
I mean, I had an air conditioner in this room, so there you go. Though I'm gonna have to split. I had the air on, but I'm gonna have to change that unit out because that's a through the wall unit, and yeah, it does no more air conditioning, only does heating, and I need air conditioning.
I hear you. All
especially in the South when it's gonna be 70s, 80s, and 90s all week.
Oh yeah, dude, we cracked up into the upper 90s this week, and then it's gonna drop down like 20 degrees. But yeah. All right, I added that to my wish list, so I'll keep an eye on it.
And I bought some upgrades too. I got the Capricorn filament tube. It came with the metal extruder head as well, and it also gave me the upgraded bed leveling springs because they're a bit more springy and they got more resistance to them than the other ones.
Okay.
So here, let me see if I can pull up Amazon and show you. See, Amazon orders. Here we go. This kit right here. So, and if you're wondering where the tube goes right here. That's the tube.
Oh, okay.
The blue one.
Okay, that's
the blue
filament.
one.
Yeah.
And the metal extruder, basically that head is what it pulls the plastic in. And the thing about this is that that when you buy the 3D printer from Creality, it's all plastic. This part right here and this base right here is plastic, and that's great, but it warps over time. So you want to
do they sell that already installed as like an upgraded version or not?
Yeah, I think they might in like the Pro.
Okay, they might,
but it's really simple to swap out. It really is.
Yeah.
I mean, it took me 5 minutes because I added the upgrades as I was building a unit, because the unit comes disassembled. You have to put it together yourself. And instead of putting the plastic parts on it like it said, I just swapped the parts out right then and there, and just went on my merry way.
And yours did come with the power supply.
Yeah, the power supply comes with it. Yes.
Okay. Oh, I don't know if it was like a USB or something, or exactly what it
No,
ran on.
you are going to have to get a micro USB cable to connect to a computer if you want to use it and send stuff from your computer or a Raspberry Pi. You are going to have to get a micro USB cable for that. So
hey, no copyrights are there.
No, there's totally copyrights with you.
Even if I sing it, come on.
And that's why you haven't gotten a 3D printer, because you can't 3D print a chest rig.
You don't know that. He hasn't
All right,
tried.
you know what? Since Nightstrike brought it up here, just show him off what I sent you on Discord.
Travis doesn't use Discord.
Not that often, man. I hardly ever check it. I mean, I just don't have time. I mean,
this is what I got. This basically, one piece of this attaches straight to the bed, the leveling bed, right there, and then the other piece just folds off because it's basically a magnetic pad.
Yeah. Hey, Nightstrike, since you're on Amazon, you might as well just pull them up on there too if you wanted to.
No, I'm not doing
just
any
do it.
No,
you brought it up.
No,
you brought it up, you son of a bitch.
No, we're done. We're done.
Show him the photo.
There we go.
Show him the photo.
Photo what?